Hi, my name is Susan Ort, and we are here to present today our group behavior consultation project. We chose Draper Career Services and Day program. This is a program for adults with significant disabilities. We have chosen to act as BCBA consultants, and our overarching goal or our main focus will be on helping the staff at Draper Career Services increase client engagement.
Hi, my name is Annalisa Wilkinson.
Hi, my name is Mace Mohammed.
And my name is Jonathan Savage-Garcia. First off, we are going to be talking about what applied behavior analysis is. And in short, we're going to be calling it ABA from now on. So just remember that part. Overall, ABA is a system of tools and techniques used to create behavior change. This can be increasing wanted behaviors or decreasing unwanted behaviors. The main focus of ABA is to use reinforcement as much as possible and to avoid punishments as much as possible. Doing this increases client motivation and it increases intrinsic motivation. So they're going to want to do better because good things are happening when they do certain things. Another main part of ABA is that any interventions used are going to be evidence-based. This means that they've been shown to be effective by various researchers in multiple research efforts. Another important thing to talk about is why we are using ABA to begin with. One of the main things is that it is effective in improving quality of life in various settings and in various conditions. Considering that Draper Day program is focused on improving life skills for all of their clients, I think these things tie in very well, and ABA could be very effective in making these improvements. The quality of life that is being improved refers to both the quality of life of the client as well as the quality of life of the caregivers. In those caregivers, you are included. So that means that the clients are going to require less help from you guys, and the clients are going to require less help from people in the community as well as their own families. They're going to become more independent, and this is what we all want, including the clients. Behavior change with the goal of social validity is important for client dignity. Client dignity is a very important thing to consider when you're talking about quality of life, and client dignity is quite a broad concept, but it involves appearance, perception, and interaction amongst the community. All of these things are going to be improved once ABA is implemented with the desired target behaviors that we want, target goals rather. Next, we're going to talk about prompting hierarchy, and I'm going to toss that over to Annalisa.
So prompting hierarchy is very important within the field of ABA with teaching learners with multiple skill acquisitions. A prompt is essentially just a cue that you use to teach the correct response. Within your prompting hierarchy, this is where you implement the types of cues, usually from most intrusive to least, but you can also do the reverse into least intrusive to most. And prompting can be customized very precisely, but we're going to just go over the basics. So you have a time delay, which could also be referred to as progressive prompt delay. And that's pretty much where it can go from anywhere between 0 seconds to 4, or even as long as 10 seconds. So for example, if you're teaching a learner how to brush their teeth, you would give the cue and then go right in at 0 seconds. Then we have positional prompting. This is where we pretty much use spatial cues. So if you want to teach a learner how to tolerate sitting down, you might fade out how far away the chair is from the table. Then we also have verbal cues. This can be using the full verbal cue as the prompt and then fading it out, where you just use partial. We also have gestural prompting. This is using movement to be the cue, so an eye gaze. Then you also have modeling, which is pretty much demonstrating the correct response. If you're teaching a learner how to wash their hands, that's a good time to use modeling. Then you have partial physical and full physical, where these two prompts are pretty much self-explanatory. Since that we're helping our clients to become more independent, we would recommend starting with the hierarchy of most intrusive to least intrusive, so that we make sure that you don't over prompt the learner and have them become more prompt dependent. But prompt hierarchies are a good way to have structured learning. And now I'm going to pass on the token economies to Susan.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to cover today what is a token economy, what's a token board, what are reinforcers, and how would one implement a token economy board, and why do they work? So first off, a token economy is an evidence-based intervention often used to increase appropriate behaviors while reducing problem behaviors. Simply put, the client or the student accumulates points or tokens for displaying appropriate behavior. Once enough tokens have been collected, the client can then cash in these tokens for an identified reinforcer. So let's talk about let's talk about token board first. So here's an example of a token board. The token board is very important when using a token economy. It's a visual and tangible board where tokens or points are stored. It should also include a stated goal and also the stated reinforcer. Now, as a caveat here, token boards can take many different forms. And one way to use token boards with adults is to actually use an app to keep track of their tokens, such as Class Dojo. This is a pretty basic token board that you're seeing now that probably would be used for a younger audience, but you can create token boards to use with adults as well. Okay, token boards can take many forms depending on the age and ability of your client. Use your imagination. Token boards can look like checkbooks showing deposits and withdrawals. Token boards can be on a computer, like I said, using something like Class Dojo. You can use money token boards where the tokens are actually money the client earns. The possibilities really are endless. Just use what works for you and your client. Okay, what is a reinforcer? So reinforcers are super important because without reinforcers, a token board won't work. Reinforcers are anything that your client enjoys that when presented as a reinforcer increases the likelihood of the behavior occurring again. Simply put, a reinforcer is something your client wants and is willing to work for. This could include stuff like an edible, like a favorite snack or a favorite candy. It can include screen time on an iPad or a movie. It can include a favorite toy or even one-on-one time with the favorite staff. So here's some examples of reinforcers that I put on the PowerPoint. Any of these things can be reinforcers, and really reinforcers are only limited by what your client is willing to work for. Okay, so putting it all together, how do you implement a token board? Well, first of all, you want to do a sort of a reinforcer assessment and select a reinforcer or have your client choose a reinforcer that they are willing to work for. Each time your client completes a stated task or a well-defined behavior, hand them a token and have them put it on their board. Now, this step won't exactly work if you're using like Class Dojo, but it's important to have your client involved in the process. So once the token board is full, immediately give your client the identified reinforcer and then just reset the board. So why do token economies work? Well, the Vanderbilt Kennedy Center suggests 3 reasons why token economies work. First of all, token boards help clients see their progress. So it's very visual. They teach clients to accept and work for delayed reinforcement. And that's really important because they're not getting their reinforcer immediately. They have to earn tokens, so many tokens in order to get their reinforcement. So it teaches them delayed reinforcement. And finally, it teaches students to self-monitor. Okay, so that is a token board. And now I will hand it over to Jonathan.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So next we're going to talk about how to implement this across the entire agency. It's going to be in various levels, But first and foremost, preparation is key. So you guys take 1 to 2 weeks. If you need more, that's okay. Take more. Do not implement this until you are fully prepared to implement it with all of the materials and all of the information. So take a couple weeks, prepare the materials, discuss preferences amongst staff and clients, talk about what's possible, what is in the staff's capabilities when it comes to providing these reinforcers, etc. The token boards are going to be implemented in 3 tiers. The first tier is going to be agency-wide. So these are token boards that you can include for overall client engagement. If everybody pitches in and contributes to help reach a certain goal, then the entire agency, clients included obviously, will benefit from the reward that they agreed upon. This can also work for staff, so it can be agency-wide just for staff. This is really up to you guys, depending on the information you gather in those 1 to 2 weeks of preparation. Tier 2 is going to be group-based for individual life skills classes. So part of the implementation plan is additional classes held throughout the week and more than once a week if possible. In each of these classes, you can have token boards for the class itself. So for that day, they will all be working towards an agreed upon reinforcement for the end of the class. And then tier 3 is going to be for specific individuals who need more focus, depending on the severity of the disability that the client is living with. They may or may not require very tailored attention. So they will have their own token boards that they're working towards, in addition to all of the other ones that are going to be implemented. Data will be collected using the data collection sheets that we provided. And these are used to monitor individual engagement and attendance. So that's going to be just to verify that everyone is contributing towards the token board and the expectations for the token board are being fulfilled. Next is data collection, and we're going to pass that over to Mace.
Thank you, Jonathan. Data collection forms have been developed for staff members to record information regarding on-task participation, attendance, and time requirements for the participation in specific tasks and activities, as well as permanent product or outcomes related to the intervention. These forms are appropriate for use with adults with disabilities. I'm gonna go over how to use this data form. For the participants part, it's either you put the participant ID number or the initials. You put the date and then the activity they're working on. Describe the activity and how it was done. On task participation, you put yes if the participant participated. You put no if they didn't participate. The attendance, you just put indicate if the participant was present or absent. The time spent on activity. The time spent on activity, normally we are recording how much time in minutes that our participant spends engaging in the activity initially. The expectation time requirements for participants is 15 to 20 minutes, but we will gradually increase the perspective for each participant. The permanent product achieved, you put yes if the task, it's like an observable goal. So you put yes if the task was, if you measure that or like you observe that the task was done right. You put yes if the task wasn't done right, you just put no. For the additional notes, you just put any other notes that you observed during that time. If you know, like if it's new or not, you just add a note over here. And then I know also we included our reference over here. Please reach out if you have any if you have any questions about all the informations we gave you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. Right.